Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Commonwealth reports some mystery cases of hepatitis among children. And Governor Andy Beshear signs an executive order meant to help families who are struggling to buy baby formula as the shortage continues.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. The time just ticked over to 6 a.m. I'm Keaton Hall. Dakota Makers is off today. Let's throw it over to Brandon Robinson for a look at the weather.
Well, Keaton, the forecast this morning been on the chilly side in some spots, and hopefully our UVA WISE camera will stay up there just a little bit. It glitches sometimes. We'll check it out and see what we can come up with. We're seeing a nice sunrise over there this morning. 50 degrees, though, so a little on the cooler side for a June morning over at High Knob. So, again, we're going to continue to see those cool temperatures, and we made it through that first part of that camera there. All right, 50 in Wise, 50 in Jonesville, 47 just up the road in Clintwood, 57 in Prestonsburg, 56 Jackson, 57 Moorhead, 58 Ashland, now the warm spot, and you see a lot of low to mid 50s out there across parts of the region. Statewide, 62 Paducah, 57 Cincinnati, 53 Tri-Cities, down to 59 in Bowling Green and Nashville. The biggest drop down 4 degrees in Louisville from 70 to 66. We take a look at our almanac today. Not too bad. 90 set back in 2020 was the record. Average high is 81, forecast high 79. But as we go deeper into the weekend and early next week, we'll flirt with those high temperatures and maybe get past them there a couple of days. Keaton?
Thanks, Brandon. The funeral for a Breathitt County football player who died unexpectedly will be held today. 16-year-old Jason Blake Perry died Sunday at the University of Kentucky Hospital in Lexington. He had just completed his sophomore year at Breathitt County High School. The cause of his death has not been released. His funeral will be held at the Harold and Stuart and Halsey Funeral Home in West Liberty at 1 p.m. Health officials are tracking a growing number of hepatitis cases worldwide. Kentucky is now reporting 6 cases in the state so far, all in children from ages 8 months to 4 years old. Some health officials say the increase in hepatitis cases shouldn't be cause for concern, adding the 6 Kentucky children infected with hepatitis are not seriously ill. A Kentucky doctor lays out the symptoms to watch out for.
When we talk about hepatitis, it means inflammation of the liver. And when that happens, it leads to us developing jaundice, which is a yellow tint to the skin. We can also get abdominal pain, sometimes vomiting. Like anything when we're starting to see something that's unusual, we should be on the lookout for it in our children.
Doctors say the cause of this form of hepatitis is unknown, but a lot of factors such as common causes of hepatitis and COVID vaccines have been ruled out. Health officials say if your child shows any symptoms of hepatitis, contact your pediatrician. 4 years ago, Kentucky was also in the midst of a major hepatitis A outbreak. State health leaders report the outbreak was identified in November 2017. There will be a total of 5,000 cases reported through February 2020. More than 2,400 people were hospitalized and 62 people died in the outbreak. Parents are still dealing with the ongoing baby formula shortage. Yesterday, Governor Andy Beshear signed an executive order to prevent price gouging on limited supply. The order activates the state price gouging laws. He says Kentucky has not had any reports of price gouging, but other states have, and he wants to take action now.
We can't wait for somebody to increase the price double or triple. We've got to enter this order right now so people know that if they try to take advantage of moms and dads who are rightfully frightened, that we have the safeguards already in place.
The order is in effect for 30 days. Attorney General Daniel Cameron released a statement saying he and his office are taking action to alert Kentuckians of suspected baby formula price gouging. Yesterday, a website and hotline was created for people to report such claims. Last month, Attorney General Cameron recommended people buy baby formula from well-known sources and, whenever possible, to pay with a credit card. You can report any price gouging claims on the state's website. Kentucky Chamber Foundation officials define people in recovery from substance use disorder and those with a criminal background as the fair chance population. WYMT's Zach Hawk has more on how these people may find personal recovery and help the Kentucky economy.
Officials with drug recovery programs like Isaiah House say there's a stigma against hiring people in recovery, but there shouldn't be.
I look at my situation and 2 years ago, I walked into a treatment facility, and now I'm fortunate enough to be in a director's role.
To combat the drug epidemic across the Commonwealth, Kentucky Chamber Foundation officials created the Fair Chance Academy and recruited its first ever 20-person cohort.
Businesses spent 3 full days with us at the Kentucky Chamber to engage in panels, group discussions, trainings. We really aim to provide them the right tools for supporting their employees.
The academy focuses on achieving 2 goals: get Kentuckians back to work and support people on their recovery journey.
It's taboo to say that you're an alcoholic or a recovering addict. And that nowadays, that's just is a lot of times, unfortunately, that's kind of become a norm where there's a large percent of our workforce out there who are people in recovery.
Chamber officials estimate that about 55,000 Kentuckians were pushed out of the workforce by substance use disorder.
There's such opportunity for businesses to hire and retain individuals who are from those fair chance populations. So this Fair Chance Academy is a way for businesses to become better equipped to support their employees and learn alongside other businesses who have that same need.
And Academy partners like Isaiah House officials say future business leaders can come from any background if given a chance and support.
A lot of employers may be sitting there right now and they don't even know it, but maybe their next manager, maybe their next director is sitting inside of a treatment facility.
Chamber officials say 20 business leaders graduated in the first ever Academy cohort. Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News.
Kentucky Chamber Foundation officials tell us that the 20 participating business leaders in the academy represent about 30,000 Kentucky workers. Chamber officials added they look forward to hosting another academy next year. As the addiction epidemic continues to grow, we've also seen an increase in success stories of people overcoming. Among those is the Hazard Rebound Center's Rhonda Hall, who's now working as a peer support specialist. She says recovery takes a lot of hard work.
I had the opportunity to go to long-term treatment, and I was really mad about it. I was really upset about it. I wasn't going to do this. I was going to do just whatever I had to get by, but at some point in time, something changed and it clicked, and I realized that I really needed to make a change.
You can go to WYMT.com to see more recovery stories from the Rebound Center. Pancreatic cancer has the highest mortality rate of all major cancers, but a breakthrough treatment is offering new hope. Emily Bennett talked with one Kentucky woman who says the treatment has given her life back.
It's 3 words no one ever wants to hear. You have cancer.
I was shocked. I mean, it's shocking news.
The diagnosis came in 2018 for Kathy Wilkes, stage 3 pancreatic cancer.
I never embraced that thought of dying. It was always the fact that I want to live, so I just treated it as a challenge.
The treatment was grueling, 8 rounds of chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation. And yet, after a year, the cancer had spread to her lungs.
And then I said, I'm done with that.
So she went to work researching, finding out the genetic mutations of her cancer, trying to find a clinical trial right for her.
That's what I keyed in on after all my research, is that regular chemotherapy and radiation just didn't really touch pancreatic cancer.
She found a case report of a colon cancer patient helped by an experimental type of gene therapy. So she reached out to the author, Dr. Eric Tran, who works at the Providence Cancer Institute in Portland, Oregon.
I just knew that he had done it and he could do it again.
After CDC and FDA approval, Kathy received the groundbreaking treatment.
For me, it was a no-brainer. It was worth the risk.
It works by harvesting the patient's T cells through a blood draw and genetically modifying them to attack the cancer, then putting those cells back into the body.
I knew that there was something at the end that we were going for. So it was a whole different mindset for me than just pumping chemo into me.
In a month, Kathy's tumor shrunk by 62%.
I looked at the scans and it's like, oh my God, they were so much smaller. It was like night and day almost.
A few months after that, down 72%. And now a year later, her cancer is stabilized.
I think it's just the kind of the precipice of what's happening with pancreatic cancer, because there was nothing for a long time.
For Kathy, this treatment represents hope, not just for her life, but for those whose lives this therapy may save.
It's just been so gratifying. Other than the fact that I get to live, that's pretty good. We'll put that number 1.
Next week, Kathy is traveling back to Portland for her 1-year checkup and test. This represents a major breakthrough in the fight against cancer, and doctors say it could be effective in treating other forms of the disease.
know from personal experience that clinical trials can make a world of difference. 6:09 this morning, and we're looking at conditions across the region on our camera network. Pikeville, US 119, US 23. A little bit foggy over there, maybe a touch overcast too. We'll keep an eye on that for you this morning, but no rain, no active rain. 55 in Pikeville, 56 in Wayne, 57 in Moorhead and Prestonsburg are warm spots, 47 in Clintwood are cool spots. A lot of low to mid 50s out there this morning, including 54 Hazard in London, Somerset 2, Williamsburg, 51 in Middlesboro, 53 in Harlan this morning. 79 this afternoon. We'll see late rain chances come into play. Some will give way to clouds. And then as we head into the weekend, rain chances will return and continue into your Saturday for a little bit. Temperatures will start their upward climb, and then we could have some record-breaking heat. I forgot to put ing on that one. That's my fault. Next week, and that could be several days of that, in fact. Keaton?
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up next, American troops stationed overseas test out some new high-tech weapons in order to protect our allies if the time comes.